welcome to the Star Archives. I'm your host, Teen Wolf, and today we are going to be talking about Mandalorian Season 3. We're going to be doing a very brief overview, and I'm going to talk about my thoughts on it. I'm going to talk about the finale. I'm going to very briefly talk about what I think is going to happen in Season 4. But so anyways, with all that aside, let's get into the video. And so, what happened in Mandalorian Season 3? Well, basically, Mandalorian Din Djarin no longer considered a Mandalorian because he took off his helmet. The armor says, you gotta go to the sacred waters on Mandalore. So he goes there, tries to get Bo-Katan to help him. Inevitably, she does. And then he gets help. Her home gets destroyed. She has to go with with Mando to where the armor and all those Mandalorians are. She gets recruited in there. She helps them free the machine gun guy's son, basically, from the clutches of this pterodactyl-like creature. And then after that, they go save Greef Karga as he's getting attacked by pirates. And that's a really cool episode. And then after that, the armorer says that they're going to go take back Mandalore, and Bo-Katan's going to lead them. But so the Mandalorians, Bo-Katan and Mando, go get Bo-Katan's army from this other planet because they left her. That's the reason why Bo-Katan, when Mando found her in the very early episodes of Season 3, that's the reason why she wasn't going to take back Mandalore because her army left her. But she gets her army back, then her and Mando go back to Navarro, and all of the Mandalorians go to Mandalore, and they take back Mandalore after beating Moff Gideon, who's on Mandalore because he is making a new army, a new Imperial army, where he gets his troopers in Beskar armor. And he also developed the original Praetorian Guards, which are basically those red dudes with the electricity sabers. They're not lightsabers, but they're kind of like that, but they emit electricity, and they're these purple. It's super cool. It's very cool. That's all I really need to say. It's amazing how they did that. But so they go there, they send down this very small scouting party, and the rest of the Mandalorians basically get threatened by Moff Gideon. He's going to send up bombers to destroy all the other Mandalorians. But so they have to retreat, and eventually they do come back and beat Moff Gideon and kill Moff Gideon. But before that happens, and now we're going to get into the finale, before that happens, we get a little sneak peek at what I think's to come in Season 4 of Mando. So, the Dark Council is basically the remnants of the Empire, and what this council does is basically they supervise different areas of the galaxy, and Moff Gideon says to all the other members, you all think, well, some of them think, not all of them think this, but some of them, he says, you believe that Thrawn is going to be the new Lord of the Empire, of our Empire, and yet I hear rumors throughout the whole galaxy, but not one about this Thrawn. Well, and they respond to it like this, well, his return's supposed to be the super secretive. No, Thrawn is fake. Thrawn does not exist. I do not see his return, so we should seek new leadership in me. I'm the new leader of the Dark Council. So everyone eventually agrees to that, and they send a bunch of those bombers because he says, I feel like Mandalorians are gonna come and take back Mandalore, because he hears news of Bo-Katan and her army combining armies with Mando and the armor and that kind of those Mandalorians. So he hears about that and he says, all right, send all these guys to me because Mandalore is about to get attacked, and they're all like, this is bad because of the Praetorian Guards, because of his dark armor stuff, because of the Beskar armor on these troopers, because that's a very big part of like army developing basically. But so they end up losing, but the things that matter the most about this, a lot of loose ends were tied up in this finale. So as Moff Gideon was walking into this basically council room, I mean, all the other members of the council were like on holograms, obviously, kind of like the members of the Jedi Council on Coruscant. But so, as he was walking through, there were these giant test tubes with people in them, and those people wound up, as we saw in the season finale, were his clones. That's the reason he needed Grogu's blood. Not to give life to the clones, because everything about these clones was identical to Moff Gideon, except for one thing. And that's what Moff Gideon later in the episode told Mando, made my clones perfect. The ability to use the Force. So Moff Gideon, no other member of the Dark Council, I think, knew about this. And it's pretty obvious that they didn't, because oh jeez. But so, he would have an army of basically Force-wielding versions of himself in Dark Trooper full-on Beskar armor, which is, holy buckets, that's scary. But so, that happens, and Mando's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill these guys. So he destroys that. But so, then he goes and fights Moff Gideon because his mission, after getting captured by him very, very briefly at the end of Season 3, Episode 7, Mando says, my mission now is to kill Moff Gideon once and for all, and Bo-Katan later in the episode joins him in this fight, and they do inevitably kill Moff Gideon. And then at the very ends of the episode is basically, now they've taken Mandalore. Mandalore is now the new Mandalorian's home, and they've taken back their home of Mandalore. That's awesome. The Great Forge has been reignited. Bo-Katan's their leader. Mando now has this new plot of land on Navarro. Grief Karga offers him this new plot of land. IG-12 is back. Mando gets like the last little bits of parts that he needs to remake IG-12, who was in the first season. He was basically Baby Yoda or Grogu's caretaker, and very briefly in this season, he was his basically cradle. He was his like body armor and the genius behind. Yes, no. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I'm pulling up images as I go, kind of showing you this, but it's awesome. Pure genius. Whoever came up with that idea, they get a raise, period. But so, IG-12's back. In that episode, at the end of that episode as well, Din Djarin Mando adopts Grogu. He's now Din Grogu as his son officially, which is super cool. And now they're going on adventures because, well, here's the thing. Mando is going to basically train Grogu as his apprentice, as his Mandalorian apprentice. That's super cool. But so he's going to do that, and it's going to be amazing. That's going to be what Season 4 is for the most part. And then here's what I think is going to happen in Season 4 for the most part. So Captain Carson Teva, the guy who almost arrested Mando in Season 2, in like the early portions of Season 2, Mando approaches him and says, I will be a private contractor and deal with basically evil in the Outer Rim that the New Republic doesn't have jurisdiction in. And so that's going to be like, he's going to go on missions, basically being a bounty hunter again, getting work, getting jobs, and making money. And that's also going to be like him training Grogu, and it's going to be super cool. But then, with Ahsoka coming out, with Thrawn being the new evil, with now Gideon dead, I feel like Thrawn is going to be the new big bad of Mandalorian. And that is going to be season 4 of Mandalorian. And let's just say, or I'm just going to say it, season 3 of Mandalorian was a very good season. It was very fun. It was very cool. Going on this big adventure to wind up taking back Mandalore. It was super cool. I thought Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, all the minds behind it did a great job. All the people who directed the episodes, especially episodes 5 and 7, the pirate episode on Navarro, and the episode The Spies. Very good episodes. Very, very good episodes. But so, the one thing that I do wish could happen, I'm just going to bring this up super quick. Would it not have been cool for Moff Gideon to call in backup at the end of that episode? And Thrawn comes in. Gideon's like, "You're real!" And that just like becomes a thing. And then Gideon, basically after the Mandalorians retreat, because Bo-Katan knows what Thrawn's capable of, and that's like the start of season 4. I mean, I trust Dave Filoni and Favreau with this kind of stuff, but would it not have been cool for Thrawn to come in and basically be like, "You failed me, Moff Gideon. You let so many of these troopers die and this and that, and you let the Mandalorians get away, and you didn't finish them off for good." And then, like, Gideon's like, I'm sorry, please don't kill me. And then Thrawn's like, "You're dismissed." He does that thing. He's like, "You are dismissed." And he starts walking away, and then, pew, he's gone. Y'all not know what I'm talking about. If you watch Rebels, you know what I'm talking about. And Zeb also being showcased in this, and the space whales in the very first episode. That was all cool. I love those little Easter eggs and stuff that they've planted in, that Favreau and Filoni have planted in, and it's just amazing. It was a great season, but would it not have been cool for Thrawn to kill off Gideon at the end? I mean, sure, he gets burnt alive by the Star Cruiser, but still, would that not have been cool? But anyways, with all that aside, everybody, thank you for watching, and please consider subscribing if you haven't already. It's completely free, you won't regret it, and I'll see you all next week, because next week we are going to be talking about the latest projects coming to the Star Wars universe, such as Ahsoka, the Acolyte, the Skeleton Crew, stuff like that. Season 4 of Mando, I'm going to basically just be making tons of predictions in that video, talking about my thoughts on it, news that I already know about it, that kind of stuff. But anyways, stay tuned for that, and with all that aside, everybody, thank you for watching this episode of the Star Archives, and I'll see you all next time.